We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
How you doing? It's your guy, Aaron Henderson here, hanging out for Vikings Uncensored. Hope you guys all go and check it out. Give it a listen. Awesome information, awesome intel. They got everything that you're looking for and everything that you need. Tune in. I might come on soon and come say hello. You never know.
Hey everybody, this is Vikings Uncensored. I'm Rhino, he's Lance, and that was Aaron Henderson, the Aaron Henderson.
That was badass.
That was pretty freaking cool.
Man, somebody had their working pants on this week, huh?
Absolutely.
How'd you catch that one again?
I just so happened there's a little bar just south of Fargo here a little ways. It's called the Fort Saloon. It's down in Abercrombie. So anybody in the area watching, make sure you go check that place out. Say hi to Brandon. He's the owner down there. Great guy. He was having his summer kickoff thing going on this weekend. He had local bands out there playing. He had this, that, and everything else. And
that's awesome.
Just so happened on Saturday, he had Aaron Henderson down there for a meet and greet. And Henderson was bartending and doing a bunch of other stuff. So I'm like,
what? He was bartending?
Yeah, he was bartending and everything.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
But I mean, I heard about it about 2:30. And just so had one of the local radio station guys was down there and he'd posted on his Facebook. And I caught it and I'm like, so I called him down. I called and said, how long is he going to be there? Well, he said he'd be here till 4. So I'm like, good enough. I hopped in the car and I ran down there,
It was meant to be.
I figured, it was worst case scenario. I'd say, hey, get a autograph or something like that. And sat down at the table. I couldn't even get to the bar because it was full, but he comes over and he's like, hey, I'm Aaron. I said, I know who you are. I said, that's why I'm down here. And
oh, hell yeah.
I just asked him straight out. I said, friend of mine and I are doing a Vikings themed podcast and we're just curious if
we need some legitimacy.
We'd be curious, if you'd be interested in doing just a little quick video shout out for us. I said, would really help us out, blah, blah, blah. He said, hell yeah, let's go do it. He said, let's go outside and record it. So we went outside.
Dude, that's so awesome.
He ran through that and we got us a shout out from former Vikings linebacker Aaron Henderson.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it was a pretty successful weekend, I would say, with that thrown in there. So
perfect, man. It's a good way to start off this week's episode too.
Absolutely. Always anytime we can get any kind of former current Vikings players or anybody
anytime, dude, of course.
Anything to say anything about the show, it's great. So
we are gonna try and do it. If we have a ways and a means, we're getting there.
Yep. So again, big thank you to Aaron Henderson for doing the shout out for us. Thank you to Brandon down at the Fort Saloon for having him up here and being able for the situation to occur, I guess. And
right, the stars aligned, man.
They did, and like I said, I'm hoping we can get some more of these.
I have a feeling, man. I got a good feeling about our show.
Once the now with COVID and stuff gone, or more or less gone, Fargo used to have quite a bit of these Vikings got players and stuff coming up here.
COVID's kind of like Brett Jones.
Yeah. No, COVID was actually here. We still don't know if Brett Jones was ever actually here.
Right.
But anyway, so this week we got quite a bit of news actually to go through. A couple of non-Vikings things, and then a fair amount of Viking stuff too. Then a couple of deals that we'll talk about. Of course, our classic beer commercial. We've got a Where Are They Now for later on, and a few other things too. So make sure you stick around. And without any further ado here, I guess we're further ado.
For the do.
Yeah, do the do.
Buongiorno.
Yeah, that do the do.
Holy shit, you guys!
Do the do is Mountain
it's
Dew.
fucking. Yes, it is. Or just do it was Nike.
Yeah. And
by the way, guys,
speaking of
I'm
just
fucking
doing
melting as we speak. So
we got Frosty the Snowman over here. It's good, you know.
Yeah, it is hot. I'm upstairs in my house. This is second level shit right here, and I ain't got no air up here.
It's like a sauna in here.
It's funny. You're a funny guy.
I never heard that before.
I'm doing this for you guys.
So forget the U.S. Postal Service, neither rain nor snow nor whatever. It's for Vikings Uncensored. It's neither no air conditioning in a 110-degree house or going on the weekends to find you a shout out from a former Vikings player. We're going to get it done for you guys. So
I need to get myself like one of those fucking hat fans to put in my face and
have the little shit. Yeah, the little squirter with the spritzer on it.
Shit, man, it's Minnesota. That means it get hot up here.
Right. I mean,
I feel like I'm living on the goddamn equator in my own house.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was 103 here on Friday and 102 on Saturday. I know. So.
Oh man, yeah.
It's cooled way off though. It's only in the low 90s today. So
day after tomorrow shit going on.
Yeah. No, that was extreme cold, not extreme hot.
We're just the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah. So
okay, this fucking NFL news.
Let's get rolling here. We could here again. We went
talking about the goddamn weather.
Went off on that tangent and drove the truck down the ditch again. So, the big news, we kind of
there we go.
We kind of talked about this last week, and so on the Julio Jones saga has finally come to a close.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting.
Yep. Sunday morning, the news broke that Julio Jones was traded to the Tennessee Titans.
Looking pretty scary over there on offense.
Yep, they got Hollywood Brown, and now they got Julio Jones. So they got a pretty formidable offensive weaponry over there.
I see some
Henry,
shit,
of course.
I seen some shit comparing like who do you think's better, the Titans or the Chiefs? I'm gonna go with the Chiefs, man. You got Mahomes there, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah,
this is a fast offense.
I mean, Tannehill is kind of a Kirk Cousins type quarterback, and I think
it's a little too early to crown Tennessee right now at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps them. There's no question about that. But thing with Tennessee, we're not quite sure what their offense is going to be this year too, because their former offensive coordinator is now the head coach down in Atlanta. So
Vrabel kind of reminds me of Zimmer in a way too, but he's got a little bit more, he's
a little more open-minded, I think. Yeah.
There you go. That's a good way of putting it. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, the trade numbers on it was Julio Jones and a 2023 6th round pick go to Tennessee's 2022 2nd round and 2023 4th round.
I really think Atlanta was hoping they could get a 1, but that's just
that's
asking a lot.
Yeah. Well, the thing of it is though, too, with this, the way it sounds, Tennessee is taking on most of the contract money, so that helps out Atlanta too.
Absolutely.
With the cap hit stuff he was having, if he'd stayed with Atlanta, the cap hit would have been like 23 million or something like that for this upcoming year. And I mean,
yeah.
But
that's not on your team. That's pretty nasty.
Yeah. Then the only other really non-Vikings related thing that bears watching for this upcoming week anyway, mandatory mini camp for that team from Wisconsin starts on Tuesday.
Yep.
So of course the world is waiting to see if Aaron Rodgers shows up or not. Now, by the time you guys see this episode, we're going to know if he showed up or not, because we're recording on Monday.
Right.
The mini camp starts on Tuesday, so by Friday, this will probably be old news. But I just barely.
You think he's there? You think he shows up?
I don't think so.
I hope not.
I'd frankly, I'd be surprised if he does.
Stay home, Aaron. Yep. Just stay home.
It's hot. It's hot this week up here. You don't.
It
Need
is
to come up
fucking
here.
hot. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, you know, you don't need to go over there, and you know, cheese doesn't do well in the extreme heat, so it's going to be stinky and nasty, and just stay home, and you know,
Stay home, Aaron, forever.
Yep, go back to Hawaii with your girlfriend or fiance or whatever she is, and whoever else you were with. You know,
If you want, you can take me with. I'll keep doing the show.
I love Hawaii, but I don't know that I want to go spend a week in Hawaii with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
His fiance.
Nothing worse than being at third wheel with Aaron Rodgers.
I wouldn't want to be the second wheel with Aaron Rodgers.
All right, what do we got next, man?
Moving on. Now we go into the Vikings news part of it.
All right.
The big thing this week is, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, you know, that he had came in for a workout and we'd offered up a contract, and the way it looked after that,
I didn't think he was coming.
I didn't think so either, but here over the weekend again, former Kansas City cornerback Rashad Breeland signed a 1-year, $4 million contract to come play with us. He's here. He's in purple.
So with that being said, what do you think that says for the other corners, you know, that we had? I thought Dancer for sure was on the upswing, on the uptick, but you know what? I mean, like the idea of the competition, honestly.
Yeah. And honestly, you know, obviously, unless Patrick Peterson is completely burned, which I doesn't seem
I don't
like
think he is.
You know, he'll start on the one side, so it's going to be competition between Dantzler and Breeland to start on the other side. But regardless of who starts, they're going to
either way, you know,
they're going to be rotating quite a bit. So
yeah, and you know, nothing wrong with fresh legs in the game, especially when you got two players that know what they're doing out there. You know, and the fact that honestly, right now in this day and age, the nickel corner is almost considered a starter as well.
Right.
You know, so I don't see Dancer moving to the slot, you know, but
no, well, and I still think, you know, Mac Alexander is going to be playing a lot in the slot.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's his normal position is a slot corner, you know, or nickel corner rather. But, you know, it'll bear seeing it, you know, and last year we were talking about, you know, we had, you know, no veteran presence, and we were relying on rookies and guys with very little,
especially in the secondary.
Yep. But, you know, realistically, this is kind of a typical Mike Zimmer move when something goes horribly wrong. He likes to overcompensate. And which is kind of the same thing he did with bringing Dalvin Tomlinson in to play tech this year, you know, after the Saints and, you know, put up 6 touchdowns and ran for 2,500 yards against us on Christmas Day. You know, Zimmer's like, no matter what the fuck I do, that's not going to happen again. So he brings in a lot of beef to hold that up. And over the biggest part of last year, you know, our secondary was pretty bad. So he made sure that we got in. Going
off of that, bud. I also have heard, and I mean, not really credibly, but I've heard still those rumblings about Geno Atkins possibly showing up here as well.
I made my position known.
It's what I'm seeing. Right.
You know, I don't think Atkins has got enough left in the tank to warrant bringing him in. You know,
I don't see him here either. I really don't. I know that there's some fans out there that, you know, want him to come here, but I honestly think his best days are behind him. And if he does come here, I don't want him starting.
No.
You know?
Well, he wouldn't start. I mean, he'd be at best, he'd be the pass rushing rotational guy with one of the two, either Pierce or Tomlinson, you know, but
I just I don't know. I see us bringing in somebody younger
until he signs somewhere. That rumor's not going to go away, just because it's the Mike Zimmer connection.
Zimmer,
Zimmer has been here for 8 freaking years. You don't use that as an excuse to bring somebody anymore, because, like I said last week,
Zimmer's first or second year, I would have been okay with Atkins coming here, but remember we're 6 more years down the road. After said, you know, moment.
Right. You know, Atkins is 33, somewhere in that general age range. I mean, he's hitting his wall, and he
Yeah, there's a reason he's not in Cincinnati no more. So
right. I mean, 3 years. Yeah, in 2019 he had 10.5 sacks. In the last 2 years combined, he's got like 4.
yeah,
So, and granted he was hurt last year some, but still
Father Time catches up with everybody.
Yep. So, but anyway, we'll
keep moving.
Keep on moving here. So
I threw that at the wall and see if it would stick, and it stuck a little. So
yeah,
we'll keep rolling.
The next thing, as I was kind of flipping through doing show research and stuff this week, I came across a podcast that Patrick Peterson does. I forget the guy that he does it with, but they were talking about Peterson being in Minnesota and his impressions of it. And he said straight out there, he's loving being here. And he said the biggest thing he said was that he loves being someplace where he feels like he's wanted and not tolerated.
That's awesome.
So kind of, like the last couple of years in Arizona, he felt like anyway that they just kept him around because he was under contract and they didn't have much choice. Whereas the fresh start here,
it reinvigorates him.
Right. And he's, then he was also talking about,
I can understand that too, man.
Yeah.
You go a new place and wanting to show out and show everybody that you still got it. I know we just talked about Geno Atkins, but I like this Patrick Peterson. I always have, coming into the league. So,
but
it's my personal preference.
Right. But then they also were talking about, asked him about, working with Harrison Smith and that kind of stuff. And he said that it took about 2 practices for him and Hitman to start getting a repertoire.
Oh, perfect. That's good.
He said we're out there on the practice during OTAs and stuff, and we're not even having to say anything. You just kind of, we're already getting at, you look over and just by looking at the guy, you can tell, okay, he's taking this guy, so I go over this way and that. So, yeah, when you've got a couple quality veterans like Peterson,
and Woods is a vet too, so that's also positive,
right? So, but when you got people back there that can figure that stuff out right away, that's only going to help you back end, because
I honestly think that Spielman has rebuilt this team right under our noses.
You did. You crazy son of a bitch, you did.
We went into rebuild mode without even, there's suspicion, the Vikings going to start I think we went into it, and now we're coming out of it. We're about to see what we have.
Yeah. Granted, some of these guys are on, 1 to 2 year deals, but, that doesn't mean
with the rookies coming in, though, that's good. That works really well with
so
these rookies coming in.
So hopefully, with that veteran presence back there, it's going to help.
Right. We didn't have much of a veteran presence. I feel more of a veteran presence this year, because we got the seasoned guys coming in from, New York and Baltimore that, granted, Pearson didn't get to play last year, but it's going to be a lot stronger unit, I feel like, as in team morale all together this year.
And that's another thing with Peterson. There's been all kinds of reports and stuff that he's already developing that.
Right, exactly.
That leadership role. They said people just tend to gravitate towards the guy out on the field, even like some of the coaches and stuff. And that's something we've been really missing on this team.
Exactly. That's what I was getting at too. Yep.
Basically, since Brian Robinson left, and maybe to another extent.
I just didn't have that feeling of leadership last year, especially.
No, we didn't. I mean, not that we don't have really good players, but like Harrison Smith, he doesn't say much. He just goes out and knocks someone's head off.
He leads by example.
Right. He's not a rah-rah guy. He's not one of these motivational type people that can.
Right. He lets his play speak for him, really.
Yeah, he's not the Mel Gibson, in what the hell was it?
And what the way you're making it sound is that Patrick could be possibly, that vocal leader that we need.
That we've been missing here. So that
gives a little bit of swagger to that defense.
Mm-hmm. So that's, I think that's
mix that in the cauldron with, Kendricks,
mm-hmm.
and, those up, if Hunter, we'll get there later. But you mix all that together, it's a good recipe for success.
Yep. So anyway, we'll roll on to the next part here. The players are off now until next week. Vikings minicamp is the 15th through the 17th.
Do we got something going on the 8th through the 11th? I think we do. I think we have one more.
I think there's another rookie mini camp or something type deal.
Yes, this week, and I think that runs the 8th through 11th, and then next week is our mandatories.
It's the mandatories, yep.
Yep.
Yeah, which makes sense because going through the Twitter and stuff, you see the veterans and stuff. They're off in California, they're wherever, and a couple of the rookies I know I saw with Zach Davidson and Patrick Jones
I posted that one-hander on our page there on Facebook. If you haven't went and checked it out, go look at it. It's nuts.
Yeah, but no, they were on. Ran across it yesterday on Twitter. They were stuck around Minnesota. They were out fishing. Both of them had a couple of really nice.
Oh yeah, Patrick Jones.
Yeah,
I've seen that. Yeah,
and Zach Davidson had one too that was just as nice, bigger. But they're 3 to 5 pound largemouth bass that they were out had caught someplace.
And it's good that they're out doing that together. Yeah,
I don't know if they were fishing together or if they were just both happened to be fishing, but regardless, they're embracing the Minnesota.
They're embracing the life.
Yeah.
Don't you know?
Yeah, you bet. So anyway, then the other thing that popped up late last week, Jeff Gladney had
this is really interesting.
He posted this on Instagram and then deleted it again, but it was a couple of different posts.
Kind of psychological, if you ask me. In a way.
I mean, the first one was he said, what makes it worse is the actual truth will never be out there. And then the other one was, he said, still can't believe this girl's trying to ruin my life just because I wouldn't be with her.
Excuse me? Fuck, you can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious.
Okay. It's hard to. I don't know, man.
Yeah, no. Okay. Granted, we know this kind of stuff does happen from time to time.
Right.
But where did all the injuries and the bruising come from and everything else if you did nothing wrong, Jeff? I mean, if you want the entire truth to be out there, we need to know this kind of stuff, because
there are some crazy people out there.
I
don't know. I don't want to speak too badly on Jeff yet now, especially with what's coming out, but I understand it's easy for someone to take that victim card and play it. So let's just hope because if that's what he's doing, that's evil, dude.
Yeah. I mean,
don't lie.
Trying to make himself look good by saying, he didn't do it. And I don't know what this gal do,
It is a cold world, though, man. I see
what
that
did
too.
She secretly tie her hair to his car door when he wasn't looking, so that she drug herself along behind, or
Right. The thing is, the thing though, at the end of the day, is that me or you weren't there, so
no, we don't. And
the only one that knows the truth is him and his girlfriend and what happened. And
right.
I guess at this point, I don't know what to say. I'd hate to drag him through the dirt, especially if he is completely innocent. But at the same time, if he's pulling that victim card, man.
Yeah. And I said there's innocent until proven guilty, but if it walks like
and
a
it
duck
says
and quacks
a lot
like a duck, it's usually not an elephant.
Right. And it says a lot too when you're bringing in all these corners as well, because the team knows more than anybody else. Kind of they have an idea of what's going on. So
yeah, and with all this, they're acting like they don't anticipate Gladney being here to start the year at least.
Right.
Which I really don't either. So
yeah, I once I heard that happened, I just kind of shut the door on that anyways to begin with. So
right. So there again, it's something that just bears watching. We'll and anything new comes up on it, we'll touch on it as
right,
I guess. But that's basically it for the news and stuff this week. So we're gonna roll into another one of our classic beer commercials here. So why don't you guys check this one out?
Crack open another one and check out this video.
Crack open a beer and check out the commercial, and we'll
get that beer bong out and take a few of them for me.
Hey, this is a Friday night. Whatever you want to do on a Friday night to have fun, knock
Friday
yourself out.
Night.
All right, we'll be right back.
That was beautiful.
Molson X-Lite, the light beer with taste.
All right, we're back. Again, hope you liked the commercial.
Oh man, that makes me want a beer so bad.
Yeah. You probably need one as hot as it is over there.
Dude, I'm dying.
You're gonna look like Thin Man by the time
like thinner.
Lance is gonna be a stick figure by the time the show's over because it's so damn hot over there.
Warm. Must have air.
So anyway, we'll roll into the next deal here. We got a question from our buddy Drew Bunting from over at the Vikings Report with Drew and Ted, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m.
That's correct.
Drew asked us if we thought that he's got a two-part question for us. His first part is Danielle Hunter going to suit up for Minnesota week 1?
I'll let you go first on this one.
All right. I think he does. You know, this coming next week is going to tell a lot, you know, how messy this is going to get as to whether or not, you know, he shows up for that mandatory minicamp.
I agree. Next week is going to tell us everything.
But realistically, I don't see. I mean, the team knows good and well that we can't go into the start of the season without having Hunter there, because there again, we're at the point where
I think
we were
we
last
can.
year.
I think we can, but I don't think we want to, obviously.
Well, but we have nobody proven. You know, we got a bunch of untapped potential and possibilities there. You know, with DJ Wanham, Patrick Jones, James Robinson, all, you know, these new guys that came in. You know, Kenny Willick's coming back, all kind of stuff. But
I got Brailford yet too, I believe.
Yeah, but there again, we don't. You know, you've got all those guys who some of them may turn out to be top-notch players. Some of them may, you know, not pan out at all.
You know, if he doesn't show up week 1, we better be fucking prepared for it. That's all I can say.
Well, that's
but they know the situation.
Prepared for it without doing another disastrous Unique and Ngakwe type trade where we get rent the guy for 5 fucking weeks and then turn around and sell him for less than we paid to get, you know.
Those are the moves by Rick that drive me insane.
Mm-hmm.
That and the Vedvik move. What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so
I believe he is on the field week 1. But I also believe, like you said, next week is going to tell us a lot about the situation.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, before next week, I think Hunter's on field week 1.
Yeah. You know, there's stuff being leaked out. You know, we talked about that one deal last week, and now the mouthpiece of the Vikings, Paul Allen, had something on his show Friday, I think it was, or something about something else to the fact with his contracts and stuff like this, and that he's getting bad, or, you know, Hunter's getting bad advice from former players and this.
I heard that too.
You know, I honestly don't put a whole lot of stock in what Paul Allen says anymore. I mean,
and it's not real often that Paul Allen says, you know, things like that though either.
Right. Which to me means there again, that the team wanted that to come out because
using Paul Allen as mouthpiece, basically.
Right. So that way they can, you know, if it does come back at him or whatever, they say, well, we don't.
He is looking like a fucking mad scientist nowadays. Paul, cut your goddamn hair.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that the whole pandemic thing did not treat PA very well because
got a headband in and fucking hair flopping over,
so he looks
like Einstein and shit.
Well, he looks like somebody just picked him off. I think he spent the pandemic on a desert island someplace and
Right, Survivor Castaway.
Yeah, the only thing we're missing is Wilson, the volleyball, And
Wilson, where are you? Wilson! Wilson! Wilson!
Wobby!
Wobby's not there anymore. Man.
I know.
Yeah, so like I said, I don't put a whole lot of stock on what PA says anymore, just because, not to.
He does call a good game, though. I think, anyways.
Yeah, that part of it is, but you start listening to some of his takes on his show and stuff.
I heard he can be a real big fucking jerk. So
I've heard that too. That he
from numerous sources.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if
sources, numerous sources that I hold in higher regard than I hold PA in. So.
Right.
But anyway, then the second part of Drew's question, he says, if you had to bet your house and your entire bank account, would it be on the Vikings making the playoffs or the Vikings not making the playoffs? I'll let you take this part of it first, Lance.
Well, if I take a look at the numbers here, it is an odd numbered year this year. We do have an influx of talent coming in. We got a new coordinator once again on offense, so there's a question mark there. I believe that this year is going to be much different than last year. I think there's going to be a lot more competition along the whole entire roster. I think we're leaning more towards 2017-ish than what we have, in the most recent years. We're looking pretty good, honestly, and I think the competition is going to bring out the best in all these players. The ones that are going to rise to the top are going to rise up, and the ones that are going to fizzle out are going to fizzle out. And I think the roster looks good. I think we make the playoffs this year. I really do. There goes my house. No more sweating upstairs.
There you go. You can get rid of this house, and then you'll get something with air conditioning. Then you
right. Proper ventilation and air conditioning.
Right. From my side of things, since I live in an apartment, I'm not too worried about losing anything here. And my bank account, I got a whole lot in it either. But, I know we talked about, when we went through our schedule breakdown and stuff. The biggest thing it's going to hinge on is if Danielle Hunter's here. I mean, if Danielle Hunter is here and is playing, then I think we make it. It's probably as a wild card. It's going to be the 7-8 seed, whatever, most likely, because we got a shit hard schedule coming up. But
schedules change. I mean, as far as like strength, schedules change throughout the season. Right. Teams are supposed to show up, don't. Right. Teams that don't do. So, I mean, at this point, yeah, the schedule looks tough, but I think it's going to look different as the season goes on.
Well, and there's a lot of unknowns. Is Rodgers going to be, in Green Bay?
I honestly don't think
is Danielle Hunter going to be here.
I don't think having Hunter is going to affect whether or not we make the playoffs. I know that's a hot, spicy take.
Yeah, I mean,
but I think the depth is there to compensate for if he doesn't come. If he doesn't show up. But I don't see him not showing up. So.
I know. I'll disagree with you on that one.
Disagree for sure. Yeah,
without a pass rush. That's part of the reason why the back half of the defense was terrible last year too, is because
I think they could progress though. I do. I mean,
but and I'm not in here again. I have high hopes for guys like Patrick Jones and some of these young guys.
Dude.
Wanham showed some flashes last year, sure. But the thing of it is, here again, it's still an unknown. We don't know. With Danielle Hunter, we know what we have.
Well, we got a guy. Do we after a year off? Do we know what we have?
Well, I mean,
that's what I'm getting at, dude.
That's a fair point too. But I mean, realistically, I think Hunter comes back, and I think Hunter is the Hunter that he was.
I hope so. That's what I'm saying too. I hope he does.
And
I hope we don't have to rely on what I'm thinking.
The Hunter that he was versus not having, and having to hope. Here again. Typical Vikings thing. Well, if this happens, and if this happens, and if this happens,
throw a penny in the well. We'll throw a penny in the well and make a
then
wish.
maybe we can luck out and sneak into the playoffs. I would rather have a guy that I know as long as he's healthy, he's getting his 10 to 15 sacks, on a yearly basis coming off of that end, and then rotating these young guys in on the other side. It's
beneficial for sure. I mean, to have him, he's a big time, and he also leads by example.
Yeah. Again, not a vocal guy, but he lets his play do the talking for him.
So I don't know. Like I said, I think without Daniil, I still think we're a playoff team. But I can agree to disagree with you too.
Yeah.
Without, maybe we're not. I don't know. But I think we're good to go.
No. Like I said, I'll say we make it in just by the skin of our teeth. But if Hunter doesn't play, that changes things, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But hopefully that answered Drew's question for him. So we'll, and anybody else, you guys, anytime you have questions for us,
absolutely,
leave it down below here on the YouTube.
We get questions, we will answer.
Get a hold of us on the Facebook page, Twitter, any of that stuff.
Right.
Send us a question.
Ryan, anybody.
We'll,
I mean, not anybody. Don't
yeah, no, it has to be one of the two of us, or
right.
The page itself, because otherwise, you send it to Rick Spielman, he's not going to have us.
Well, yeah, we absolutely pop. If you want to pop in some questions, we absolutely pop them in and answer them for you. So
absolutely,
try our best to answer.
Yep. So anyway, we'll move on here to another one of our original segments that I think you guys are most of you guys probably remember this guy, but we're moving into this week's Where Are They Now?
Where are they now?
So on this week's Where Are They Now, as you saw in the highlight clip we just played, we are talking about a guy that wasn't here all that long,
right?
But made a hell of an impact. He was here. It's number 7 in your program, number 1 in your hearts, Mr. Randall Cunningham. What do you got, Lance?
I personally want to say is the Randall Cunningham that you seen in Minnesota was not the Randall Cunningham that played in Philadelphia at all.
No, he wasn't.
You rarely seen Randall take off,
he used his mobility just more to move around and
move around the pocket and
up and
chuck it deep. You know, I could have probably chucked it deep and had somewhat of success with Randy Moss and Chris Carter and Jake Reed at my disposal, along with Robert Smith behind me. Yeah. So not taking anything away from Randall, because what he did was amazing. He had 1 year or 2 years away from the league to come back and then do what he did.
He had retired and was out doing floor or was he running
I got that here.
Place? Yep.
I'll let you know. I'll bring it to you, Ryan.
All right. I don't want to step on your touchdown call. The floor is yours, Mr. Brown.
Right. I was just clearing up there. I think he was on for 2 years there, right? Yep. Right. Okay, so here we go. I loved Randall, by the way, when he came here in '98. I didn't know about his history until later on. When he first got here, I must have been like, it was 98. So I was like 13. This is when when Moss came here, man. I think this is a time when a lot of the fans really started to love the Vikings again, because that's when we really started to pick up momentum and get going with Moss. But yeah, I loved Cunningham when he got here. I think, did he win MVP that year? Did he win MVP
Cunningham,
that year?
I don't think so.
No.
I can't say for sure. I'd have to go back.
Okay. Anyways,
it seemed like that would stick in my head that he did, but
right, I thought the same too. But I mean, either way, he had a hell of a year that year, as you all know if you guys watched. So, anyways, I'm going to start with my write up here. So after his first retirement, he had spent some time off running a building supply company and serving as an analyst for local TV broadcasts. But on a vacation in Hawaii with his family, Cunningham realized that he just wasn't cut out for a life of leisure. So, and after spending a year away from the game following 11 seasons in Philly, he became serious about his faith and his religion. Shortly thereafter, the Vikings came calling, knocking on his door, and we all know that story. We just talked about it. He went on to have an amazing season in 98 that just came crashing down because of a blunderous championship game that we've talked about as well here.
Permanently ingrained in the minds of
anyways. Oh man, yeah, it's unfortunate, Anyways, I don't want to get all sappy and emotional here. Bring back past demons. Right. Anyway, so after his second retirement from the NFL in 2002, Cunningham settled in Las Vegas permanently, which is where he still resides today. And he became an ordained pastor and minister 2 years later. With his wife Felicity, the couple began their own church. And it's called Remnant Ministries, where Cunningham gives 3 services every Sunday to a small live audience. And he estimates around 4,000 or so online viewers. In the meantime, he has also coached his 2 children, Bashiti and Randall Jr., who are both Olympic team hopefuls in track and field. So anyways, as for today, and this is a little bit interesting, Cunningham is back in the league. Not as a player, but as a spiritual advisor to the Las Vegas Raiders. Back in 1990, John Gruden was his offensive coordinator there in Philly. And Gruden really liked Cunningham, and they had a great relationship, obviously. And here we are today, 30 years down the road, and they reunited in Las Vegas. This will be Randall's second year there as basically their team chaplain, or whatever they call that.
Yeah.
He loves it. He gets to see the players every day. He gets to, he's basically the team's spiritual advisor when the players have some issues or whatever, and they need somebody to go to and talk to and need to find some guidance. They look at old Randall and they go to him and they look for some spiritual awareness. So I think, he's living a good life. He's doing what he wants to do. He's found himself. So I'm glad that he's back in the league, kind of involved with the team in a way.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And like I said, he's really enjoying it. So that's really, at the end of the day, it's all that matters. So
yeah.
He's having fun, living his life, doing what he wants to do. Good for you, bud.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for doing what you did for us that year. And we all appreciate you for it. It's magical. I remember every time I'd see him rear back and let it rip, just the feeling that I would get inside. It was a magical season, and I'll never forget it. And a lot of fans won't.
We've kind of had that, basically twice. We had that 98 year with Cunningham, and then we had the 09 year with Favre.
The 09 year was a little bit more sweet because we got that with the rival that used to play against us that we all hated and learned to love. So
yeah, but there again, that was ours. We should have had it that year.
We should have.
And everybody.
But you know what, Rhino? You can only win for the first time once. So hopefully we're there for that first time.
Yeah. The way my luck goes, when I finally take the eternal dirt nap, that following season, the Vikings will win the Super Bowl. So,
oh God, jeez, I've always thought that too. Whenever I pass away, I'm gonna be upset because I'll miss the next fucking game.
Yeah. But make sure to die on a Tuesday so you get at least get that.
No shit, get that last game in.
Get that at least get the Sunday or Sunday.
This is
or
gonna
Monday
be. You know what?
game.
This is gonna be real hard to do on games that piss us off during the season, because with me personally, I've told Ted this before too, man. To be able to go out and write, a journalistic point of view on the team after a tough loss has got to be tough. It's got to be hard to do.
Yeah.
So to come on here and to do a show after a tough loss, I mean, when I was not doing this, I'd stop for a whole week. I would not look at anything Vikings. I would not watch anything Vikings. If we lost the game, that'd be it. I would shut it down for the week and wait until the next game. Now that I'm involved with this, I won't be allowed to do that. So
right. And there's a reason why we call ourselves Vikings Uncensored, because you're going to get some uncensored takes when we get into the season there. So
I'm not going to want to be on the show, but I'm going to be here, guys. So you're going to get the rawness. It's going to be raw, and I hope you like it.
And that's, we're fans just like everybody else. We've got passion for this team, and
for those of you that follow us during these slow times, man, thank you so much, because it's going to be a blast once we get to the season.
So, and with that in mind, those of you who are watching the show and have not subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Subscribe. Come on now.
Hit the little bell beside there, because, it'll tell you whenever we put out a new video. Like I said, we usually have the preview that comes out on Wednesday.
All you got to do is tap subscribe, not paying no money for nothing.
No, we don't.
It helps us.
If you want to send us money, we'll take that too. But
we'll take any donations for sure.
Right. Really, hitting the subscribe button is enough for now. We would really apprionate if
you can also see me on my OnlyFans page, Brunswick OnlyFans.
Yeah, he's the OnlyFans. So.
Once again, you're pointing the opposite direction.
No, I was pointing right this time, I think.
Oh, that's right. I see it the opposite direction.
Yeah.
But on your side, you see it.
I think. Okay. Well, the dude that's beside me.
That's why we don't point in this show, people,
right,
because
really
fucking don't know. He's on one of these sides.
Yeah, the gentleman next to me.
I hope you
and
guys.
Then there's Lance too. So
yeah. Then we got the dude in the corner that sits over here. Nobody ever gets to see.
Right. We put some duct tape over his mouth so he shuts the hell up.
Right. If you ever hear any muffled voices, just don't think twice.
Ignore that.
I'm gonna show up with the DA at my house here in the next couple of weeks. Think I got like hostages in my house, right? Who you got upstairs?
No one.
Cut that shit out, dude.
Get guys in black suits and black sunglasses showing up at the door. And
I got kids, man. Yeah. Mommy, where's Daddy going? Vacation.
Yeah. Oh, vacation. We'll see him in about 10 to 15.
Forrest Gump. Yeah. Nobody really knows what happened to his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom sure does care about your education.
Right. Anyway.
You tell a lot about a person by the type of shoes they wear.
Yeah. Life is like a box of chocolates.
Right.
Anyway, that's about.
Yeah, there's a lot that you can cut out.
Oh yeah, well, we might keep it in too. Who knows? But right. Anyway,
I am melting, dude. I'm like a fucking
okay,
Snicker bar and fucking Mitch Berger's shoe right now.
That's staying in.
Oh man.
All right. Anyway, that's about all we got for this week. We're gonna get out of here before Lance melts over there. But again, thanks everybody for watching.
I'm gonna do a wrap up here if you give me a chance. Just to give me a second.
Catch us on Friday nights, 6 p.m. on YouTube. We've also got the audio versions on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, and
anybody else have any questions? Please, nobody ask any questions. We get the fuck out of here.
All right. So with that, Thanks everybody again. And why don't you take us out of here, Lance, before you pass out?
That is exactly what was going through. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking pass out here pretty soon. All this laughing and fucking no water.
You got a gallon jug next to you.
I do. It's got like
that was full when you started. Yeah.
Right.
All
okay,
right.
guys.
Take us out of here then.
Time for the wrap up. Okay, so once again, I want to say thanks to all the Facebook groups out there letting me plug on their page, share Vikings information, Vikings news. Once I get enough of you guys in to the page, I'm going to try to keep things more based on the group. So although I'm still going to stay active in the other groups as well, but I won't be plugging as much. So thank you, Joel from Vikings territory. I really appreciate you and let me go in there and, you know, get my VU on, kind of show what we got to offer. I really appreciate that. You guys need a shorter watch, come watch VU. Thank you. All you other groups, I will be giving you guys shout outs as we go along. Thank you. Keep coming here to watch. We're not trying to take you guys away. We're just trying to give you guys some entertainment. So also keep your eyes open for a contest we got coming up. We got some stuff that we're looking to give away. The more subscribers you get, you know, the better the prizes are going to be. Something along those lines. We got some shit rolling around in our brains. So
yep. And we will be announcing our first contest here within the next couple of weeks. We just have to sit down and get the details and stuff hammered out on the chat. So
I don't know if you guys can tell. I feel like I've lost about 10 pounds throughout this episode. I am melting. Look at that sweat on my face. My eyeballs are sweating. And so with that, right. I will say, get the fuck out of here. Oh, I got the puppy out. All right.
We'll see you guys next week. This is my new puppy.
See you next week.